Once upon a time, there was an evil and jealous king. He had a kind and handsome son. Many princesses from many lands wanted to marry the prince. The king said to each princess, "Before you marry my son, you have to do something for me." And then he gave her an impossible task. When she couldn't do it, he said, "Now you will die." And his executioner cut off her head. "You will never marry," he said to his unhappy son, and the king laughed. Princess Anna was the daughter of a poor queen in a small kingdom. She heard about the handsome prince. She said to her mother, "I want to marry him." "Never!" cried the queen. "The king will kill you. You are my only daughter. I cannot lose you. There are hundreds of handsome men in the world. You don't have to marry this one." But the princess was very sad. She couldn't eat. She couldn't sleep. In the end, her mother said, "Go then. Go to the prince. I hope you will do better than the other princesses. I hope I will see you again." The princess was very excited, and she danced around her rooms. She ate a lot of food and got strong again. Then she began her journey. She had no servants because her mother was poor. "I'll find servants on the way," she said. After a short time, the princess saw a small hill. "What is that hill?" she thought. "It wasn't there before." She went nearer. It wasn't a hill. It was a very large woman lying on her back asleep. The princess went near her, and the large woman woke up. "What are you doing here, large woman?" asked the princess. "I was sleeping," said the large woman, "and now I am not asleep because of you. Why were you sleeping?" "Because I had some food this morning. Now I want my dinner." "What did you eat this morning?" asked the princess. 10 pigs and 100 pies," said the large woman. "Will you be my servant?" asked the princess. "Give me food," said the large woman, "and I will do anything for you." So the large woman followed the princess. A short time later on their journey, they found another woman. Her head was down and her right ear was on the ground. She looked up. Her right ear was very large. "What are you doing, Big Ear?" asked the princess. "I am listening," said Big Ear. "The birds are singing in a land over the mountain. I can hear them." "What can you hear in the house of the handsome prince?" asked the princess. "People are crying. Another princess is dead." "Will you be my servant, Big Ear?" "Yes," said Big Ear. "I will." A short time after that, they saw 2 long things by the path. "What are they?" "Trees," said the large woman. They went nearer. "They're not trees," said Big Ear. "They are legs. The longest legs in the world." A little later, they saw the woman's head. "You are a very tall person," said the princess. "I can be taller than this," said Longlegs. "Come with me, Longlegs," said the princess. "Be my servant." So Longlegs followed the princess. Next, they saw a woman with a hand over one eye. "Is there something in your eye?" asked the princess. "No," said the woman. "I can see a long distance. I can see through things, buildings, mountains, water. When something is near me, I have to put my hand over one eye. Then I can see it." "Come with me, Sharp Eyes," said the princess, "and be my servant." And Sharp Eyes followed the princess. They went on their journey, and the sun got very hot. Princess opened her cloak. They came to a woman by the path. She wore 2 thick cloaks and a large hat. They could not see her face. She said, "I am cold, cold, cold." "Why are you cold, cold woman?" asked the princess. "The sun is very hot, and our dresses and blouses are open. We are hot." "When I open my cloak," answered Cold Woman, "the sun disappears. It snows. Everything dies of cold." "Come with me," said the princess, "and be my servant, but please don't open your cloak." Cold Woman went with the princess. Princess Anna and her servants arrived at the city, and the princess went to the king. "I want to marry the prince," she said. "What do I have to do?" The king answered, "You will have to do 3 things. Do them well, then you can marry the prince." "What is the first thing?" asked the princess. "I have a beautiful red jewel. Yesterday it fell into the lake. Bring me the jewel before the sun goes down." The princess went back to her servants. "How can we find the jewel?" she asked them. Sharp Eyes took her hand from her eye. "I will look for it." She went to the lake. "There it is, over there. I can't see it," said Longlegs. Then the large woman opened her mouth and drank the water in the lake. A short time later, the lake was dry. Longlegs got the jewel and gave it to the princess. The king was very angry when he saw the jewel. Then he said, "Tomorrow I will give this princess a very difficult task." He thought hard. He did not sleep that night. The next morning, the princess woke up early. She went to the king again. "You are hungry after your long journey," he said with a cold smile. "I have 30 pigs outside. Eat them before noon. I do not want to find 1 pig leg." "Can I invite a friend?" the princess asked. "I do not like eating without a friend." "You can ask 1 friend," said the king. The princess left. "She will die this afternoon," he said to his son, and the king laughed. The princess went back to her friends. "Come with me, large woman," she said. The large woman quickly ate the 30 pigs. Then she ate the king's other animals, the bread in the kitchens, the fruit on the trees, and the vegetables in the fields. "Now what can I eat?" asked the large woman. There was nothing there, so she went to sleep. At noon, the king called for his dinner. He waited and waited, but no food came. He went to see the cook. "Where is my dinner?" he asked. "A large woman ate everything in the fields and everything in the kitchens. There is no food." The king got angrier and angrier. Then he thought of a plan. "Ha ha!" he laughed. "Now I will catch her." The princess came to him on the 3rd day. "Will you dine with me tonight?" he asked with a lovely smile. "And after that, would you like to sit with the prince for 2 hours?" "Yes," answered the princess. "I would love that." "You will not fall asleep when you are talking to the prince?" asked the king. "Fall asleep?" cried the princess. "Never." "When a person falls asleep with the prince," said the king, "the prince disappears by magic. Then that person dies." The princess put on her most beautiful gown. She dined with the king. Their conversation was very cold. Servants brought wonderful food and wonderful drinks. When the princess turned away for a minute, the king quickly put something into her glass of wine. The princess did not see. She drank the wine. Then the king took her to the prince. They climbed up many stairs to a high tower. The prince sat sadly by the window. The red light of the evening sun lit up his handsome face. The river below, the flowers around the window, and his tunic were the same color. The princess sat near the prince. They were very happy for a short time, but the princess's eyes suddenly felt heavy. She started to fall asleep. She couldn't hear the prince's words. Her eyes shut. She was asleep. Half an hour later, she opened her eyes again. The prince wasn't there. She looked everywhere in the room, but she couldn't find him. She ran to the window and looked out. She saw big ears below. She called to her, "The prince isn't here. We have to find him in the next hour." Longlegs brought the princess down to the ground. "Where is the prince? Can you hear him, Big Ears?" Big Ears put her ear to the ground. "Yes," she said. "I can hear him. He is calling. He says that he is across the river. He is inside a tree. His father's men put him there." Sharp Eyes looked. "Yes," she said. I can see him, but how can we get him? Cried the princess. I have an idea, said Cold Woman, and she opened her cloak. Snow fell. Everything went white. Cold Woman jumped into the river and the water turned to ice. They ran across the ice and brought the prince back. Long Legs put the prince and princess back through the window into the high tower. They sat down, and the door opened. The king came in. He could not speak when he saw the prince. He gave them a cold smile. We are having a very interesting talk, said the princess. We are talking about trees and rivers. Come with me, said the king. It is night. Your bedroom is ready. Your servants can sleep there too. The princess said good night to the prince, and she and her servants followed the king. He took them to a large chamber. The king shut the door. He ran to the cook and said, Make a great fire under their room. After a short time, the room got very hot. The princess went to the door, but she couldn't open it. I can hear a great fire below us, said Big Ears. This is wonderful, said Cold Woman. I feel really warm for the first time in my life. Open your cloak, Cold Woman, said the princess. When Cold Woman opened her cloak, the room got colder again. That's better, they said. The king listened at the door. He heard them. He ran to the cook and said, Make the fire hotter. Cold Woman smiled. I am warm again, she said. They are roasting us, said the other servants. Take off your cloak, said the princess. The princess took Cold Woman's cloak away. I am too cold, said Cold Woman. Please give me back my cloak. Snow fell in the room. The princess could not speak because she was too cold. The large woman cried. There was ice in her hair. The king came to the door. He listened. Nothing. They are dead now, he said. He opened the door. The princess and her servants ran out of the room. Let's go and sit by a fire, said the princess. My face and hands are blue with cold. The king could not win. He knew that now. So he left the kingdom. The prince married the princess and they lived happily, and the good servants lived with them.
If you found this story helpful, we request you to subscribe to our channel, as this will motivate us to create more such videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.